Hello one for the Autobomber, Cyrus, and Conqueror kill. So we're going to run through these really quickly. So I am all spawned. We do Cyrus. I'll fix the Awakener level. This must just show like can the build at level 94 kill Conqueror's no problem, Cyrus no problem. See how it does pretty much. But yeah, the mapping still is really good. We've been doing a few beast heads to get levels on this character. This will be the first of the three actually characters. Since this one's the highest and probably the strongest of the three builds, because of the gear on this character is very expensive. I'll probably do this one over the other one first. It'll be interesting to see how it does actually. And it should no problem with this if I'm doing it correctly. Maybe. Could be wrong. There it goes. For some reason it lagged out. So the first one's done. Let's fix this now. If I can see the screen. There you go. So that fixes that mess.
Need a map?
I'll do the worst one first. Red one was fix. This is the one phase or two phase boss. You're only gonna pick up maps or something good that drops. Everything else I don't care about. This is the I think this is the phase boss. Yeah, it is. This is the Act 5 one. It takes forever. Could probably just hide underneath them too. Like getting like phase bosses for these is probably one of the worst things. Which one's this? Increase more attack speed. But yeah, it's definitely doing pretty well. Ideally, we need to save the flask for the Conqueror without freezing and glitching us. Some more damage output. So I'll do these two videos in two parts. We'll do this one first, the Cyrus and Conquerors, and then right after this video ends, you'll see the actual build guide, going over leveling process, the items that are required for the build to work, can the build be done without headhunters and badge and all that kind of stuff. That'll be go over at this video. And now no matter how Cyrus does, if we beat Cyrus, don't beat Cyrus, it'll be in the video. Just so you can see. A lot of times, Cyrus is just how shitty a player I am at this game. And no, Cyrus is leaving next league, so doing Cyrus builds probably won't matter. Okay, this is a really bad spot cat to be. Well, we killed her. I just died because I couldn't see the screen. So the cat killed me. Drox is going to be hard. Poison is going to be difficult. Okay, this guy has to stand still. Graveyard is actually faster map too. Like doing Cassias on maps is very easy with this build. You can just stand in the middle and let the Herald kill everything. I just want to show because we just want to get through these quickly. Because we got all the long bosses too. Okay, she did count. I want to make sure she counted before I ended that. So that'd be really bad if it didn't count it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing about this build, I'll go over in the actual build, is just the poison. The chaos problem. Which needs to get fixed. That's where all the deaths are coming from, mainly. Cast curse. Just want to stick with him. And he's dead. Poison's by far the easiest one. Blue one is always one I've always struggled with, no matter what build I play. We're still on Awakener 8. Good. Just want to make sure. Drax could be a tricky one for this build because of the proximity shield that it has. So it's this way. No? But as you can see, the build's extremely good for mapping. Maps are no problem whatsoever as we're blasting through these. I mean, yes, the tailwind boosts do make it a lot easier. They're not fully needed, though. If you're not tailwind, just make sure you have 30% movement speed. Yeah? Oh, you... Someone sold that to you for a divine? Or the roll, actually. Oh, divine on it. I'll check after I find this boss. If I can ever find the boss. Where the hell is this boss even at? Oh, shit. So, what's left of this map? Well then, it usually doesn't take this long to find a boss. Yeah. Good question, where's the boss? Maybe over here? Oh, it's over here. I didn't want to do that, but oh well. Oh, that's one of the distant memory maps. Yeah, a little bit longer than I was hoping. 8 minutes right now. It's not the best for going through these guys. But we just instant phased them. And ripping through the proximity shield of his is pretty good. Yeah, expect that we're not leeching. Oh, he did. And we'll take the ring, because the ring could be something. So let's do Cyrus now. Wait. 50 out of 50. 10 out of 10. Oh, shit. So it was 0.01 off perfect. Well, that's big money.
Need a map?
Oh, let's try this, Cyrus. It's gonna be what, like 20, 30, 40 exalt probably now. Maybe probably 50.
Did you really think this would work?
Let's see, conquer 8. Or 200, yeah, it might be. I don't know what perfect rolls on even go for.
How boring and small.
Because you're not probably gonna get better than that one you just rolled anyway.
Take it. It's yours. That order?
Let's try. This will be fun to see. How many deaths to kill Cyrus?
Suffering
What do you want? Can you leave me alone so I can do this video? Because I'm probably gonna die playing the cat. Cat's already killed us once. So cat killed us on the blue conqueror already.
A real talent. You finally caught my attention.
Curse him, and we should be good now. Long as we don't get die beamed. And damage is a little bit slower than I wanted it to be, though. So he's base changed already. Yeah, damage a little bit low, but it's not bad. I know if we want to increase damage, we have to fix the weapon, but the weapon's going to be a pain in the ass to fix. The Metacraft perfectly.
The others found strength in their projections. They became reliant.
Shit, where'd he go? Because we will instant die to something like that, yeah. Anything with chaos will instant kill us. And we should be in the front of his portal. Witness beam. There we go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, really? That's where we're gonna go? Oh my god, this cat's gonna kill me. Shit, I can't even see anything. Oh, that's it? Yeah, this cat's gonna kill me. So where is he exactly? I think I just killed myself. Yep, I knew it too. Tried to get fancy there and we died. Hold on. There you go. Had to scare the cat for this one. Okay, I was trying to be fancy here. Let's just kill him. Instead of messing around. I also read Cyrus wrong completely. I thought he was closer to the front than he what it was. This should be the last phase before the merge. Shit, I can't see. Damn it. So yeah, I think next week if I rebuild this build, we're gonna go for Chaos Res. Because the no Chaos Res problems sucks. And we do another phase now because of that. Because mostly we're dying just because our Chaos Res is negative 37. So we instant die to anything if it's there to do Chaos. Wait, what? Oh shit. That could have been real bad. Wait, what's going on? Should have missed the phase. It should be the final phase. Or did I not do enough damage? Nope, we failed. So we're not leeching enough. We need to leech more. So okay, now we're going to final phase. So yeah, it's definitely things I would probably fix with this build is the Chaos Res for sure. Get Chaos on here and here probably. The only options really is these 3 pieces. 4 actually. Because the small jewels is hard to do. Also you cut your damage down. Yeah, it's definitely upgrades. Because I think the one I played is in what was it, Harvest League? No, Harvest League. We had Chaos Res on our amulet and on our what you want to call it piece, our belt. So it made it a lot easier to fight. I think that's the thing that's just hard to do. It sucks too because next League 2 this fight's gone, so it's not going to be interesting to see what the next fight is. And he should be dead. He's dead. Whatever. I mean, it wasn't clean at all, but it was doable. So this is right after you saw me do the Cyrus and Conquers. Was a mess, sadly enough, but... So, we're going to go over pretty much how I leveled the character, what gear to look for, how I crafted some of the stuff that was crafted, if it's worth the craft or buy, if there's harvest involved, how to make it yourself. So we'll go a little more in depth on the Autobomber. This is not a League Start friendly build though, just to make sure everyone understands. This is more like a month 2, or if you make a lot of currency early on to build this build. So pretty much when you level this character, level it however you want with whatever skill gems. Do not try leveling as an Autobomber off the back. Otherwise you will have a miserable time to kill yourself. Because these rings right here at 56 will kill you right away if you try running this. I've seen people do it. Trying to put 1 ring on or 2. The Herald of Thunder just ends up killing you so fast. So it's better to wait until you pretty much have the gear going with all the leeching before you put these 2 on. Just to be on the safe side. So early on you can level with Stormbrand. You can level with pretty much anything you feel like. Whatever you have fun with leveling. I would also recommend don't try doing what I did this league and leveling following this skill tree. It was miserable. We couldn't kill anything. We had no life. We had to get carried so much. It was a complete mess on my end. I did. I would personally say level the skill tree. Finish following any other build, and just respec later into this tree when you have the build going. It'll make your life a lot better. You'll have a lot more fun playing. You won't want to kill yourself like I wanted to during this whole build. Because I couldn't do anything. I had no life. We had to get carried through every lab. It was not worth doing. So when you get to this point where you have the build going, so for the labs, lab 1, lab 2 just for the power charges, and then lab 3 and 4 you can choose between these 2, whichever one you think is better. I went with the elusive first, then I went to this one as Uber. And then pretty much, so when you start leveling this way, you want all the life. Life down here is not bad. The crit. You pretty much are grabbing every single power charge on the tree between all of these. And the one up here. Just because it helps you so much with the power charging stacking, because you're stacking power charges. You're going to end up around the 9 mark with this by the time you're done. So power charge, your leech over here. So you have energy leech here. Lightning leech as life here. Lightning leech is energy shield here. I think that's it. Yeah, there's only those 3. So the leeching is extremely good. Until you can get the leeching going, I would not recommend playing this build. Because you will clear yourself instantly. I've done it many times in last league too when I tried playing this. It's pretty funny, but you do die a lot. And then pretty much over here, your cluster jewel, pretty much resistance is your cluster jewels. You will realize with this build, your resistance is absolute trash. If you're playing the Headhunter and Badge build. If you're not playing with Headhunter and Badge, if you're doing more, I'll talk about later, you don't really need all the resistance on this jewel. But pretty much just look for life, all res, and 2 res that you need. And then if you can get crit multiplier, go for it. If not, don't worry about it. You don't need it. Oh, and more leech down here. Forgot about. And then pretty much here is like, your usual life tree that everyone grabs. Don't need this until late game. This is pretty much like the last, this was level 91, 2, 3, and 4. Shoot down this way, your usual, the same thing, life and energy shield. Because pretty much you are playing hybrids, so you do want these to be high as possible. Same exact jewel as the other one. Life, dual res, flat res, whatever you needed. So this way, so when you get to this spot right here, you do not need to do what I did and go over here to get these 3. Or no, you want these 3, but you don't need to get this one. These 3 points here. It's all based on really what does this jewel roll for you. So on the Glorious Vanity jewels, you have to make sure, let me move this up actually you can see something. You have to make sure that when you divine it, you hit Doriani and just check whatever. So you want Doriani for the Corrupted Soul, because this will help you give you, because without this on, you can see my energy shield, it's about lose about 1300. So this jewel is extremely important for the build. And then what you want to make sure you do is check for this node pretty much. Technically, this one's good also. Not the best though, or this one. Ideally, if you can get Ritual Thunder and Lightning together, where you can get them real easy, you pretty much have the best jewel in the game. Ideally though, this is the one you have to get. I got extremely lucky. This was my first Divine of Doriani, and I got it right here. Normally, this to get 2 skill points can take. It took me last league and over 100 Divines to do. It's extremely rare. So pretty much, if you can get real lucky, if you can get this right here, you hit the jackpot. If you can't, I got real lucky on the 2 passive. If you don't get it here, always check these. Ideally, this one right here and this one. If you get it here, go keep it, and just keep it if you get it on this one or this one, to be honest. Or even up here, just keep it and spend the extra respect points. Do not try to automatically make it like on here, here, or here, here, because it's extremely hard to do. I know from personal experience, it can cost you over 100 Divines to maybe hit it once, because you have to get Doriani. Because it's so good because of the life leech, or the lightning leech, it pretty much helps your build out. Last league, I didn't have this, and the build still works. And this is whatever comes you get. So that's why I had to respec over in this way, to go up here to get this. If you don't have this right here, you can technically just get rid of these 3 points and just go this way instead to save you points. This will save you these 2, just come here, and it saves you these 3 skill points. Because you don't need this one. And then pretty much up here, you know, it's your power charge and then your unnatural instinct. You do want the unnatural because it gives you, hold on, my head's a problem. There we go. So it gives you all of this. This one unnatural is so good for the build because the amount of damage it gives, the mana, herald stuff, it gives you the works. Brants even with your brand skills. You see, run Storm Brand. It's really good. If you can't afford this, don't worry about it. I would probably recommend don't try making this build unless you have about 200 Exalt plus budget to start with. And then your life up here, all your power charge cluster extremely good for the build. Go this way. This is where you get your Doriani. This you don't need until pretty much around like the 80 mark is when I got this. This was pretty much my last upgrades to the build. It's pretty much the crit, and the crit, and then Thread of Hope. Those are pretty much my last upgrades. So let's go over the cluster jewel fast. I'm trying to make this not too long of a video because we do have the part before this. So on the, there we go. So on the 8 passive lightning jewel, large cluster, you want to make sure you get, ideally, Prismatic Heart, and the best one is Storm Drinker, just because of the leech. And also, it, lightning damage penetrates. And this one is resistance and damage. If you can get lucky and get how this is on the 5 passive, because you can skip this up here, it's recommended. If you can't get this on top, the widespread, then just take the 7 skill passive points and get all of them, and just try to get this jewel later. So each of these 2 are the exact same mirror copies. 4 or 5 passive damage with Herald. You want Empowering Ebony and Self-Fulfillment Prophecy on both of them. Just because Self gives you more crit strike multiplier. And Empower gives you 40% more damage, so 80% damage between the 2. And also a 40% effective Herald buff on you. And then on the smalls, so you don't need this one right here if you're going to play the build different. I'll explain the different way of playing it. You do need Low Messenger, because Low Messenger gives you pretty much more damage from the Herald. You can't use any auras. Pretty much just flat more damage. It's pretty much what makes the build go. Without this, you can't play the build as well. So over here, on this medium, so the reason why I run Elegant Form is for the 100% chance to avoid elementals. You don't need it. If you're not going to play with the Elegant Form, and it's somewhere over here, I think. No, so it's just elegant form. Because elegant form, because it's 30% here, 25 here, 30, 35 here. So together this is 35, 45, 50. So 60, 90, and the last 100 is right here, and 10%. So this one gives you a 100% chance to avoid shock, freeze, pretty much ignite, scorch, chill, frozen, brittle, shock, and sap. You can't be affected. So that's why you can open all the storm boxes, not care. If you're not gonna play with the 100% chance to avoid, you can skip these 2 points right here. Just skip them, and don't use this cluster jewel. Use like a chaos res one is much better to run, like the anti venom, because it'll be much safer overall. And then you can definitely skip then the 25% chance to avoid. Make this chaos res. Just make this tailwind boots with chaos res on them. It'll definitely help you more in the long run. And then over here, if you want, you can go this way too for more chaos res for the extra life. Power charge, life, resistance, that's all this is. Thread of Hope, make sure it's on a large. And try to get Corrupted Blood somewhere between all the jewels. Probably this one might be the easiest, depending on where you are in the league. And then because Thread of Hope is only here just for AoE, life, and more damage. That's all it really is here for. For me, I went with the life first because life is so important with this build. And then I went with the AoE, then crit at the end. And then life to finish it off. So that's pretty much the basic skill tree. Go for the crit nodes at the end. I would recommend just go for the life stuff early. And just make your changes where you have to based on your gear and if you're going with the void elementals or not. And wherever your life leech is at too. So try to go over the next part. So it's pretty much the same as the last video where I did the very fast, quick version of this. Your bleed immune flask, your bubbling, extremely helpful, does save you a lot. Your Cinderella flash with the crit, Bottle Faith, because it's Bottle Faith. If you can't afford Bottle Faith, you can just run a you can pretty much run a any other flask you need, depending on if you're running the 100% or not. Your crit flask does help you a lot, first immune, and then your movement speed. Your weapon, so you do need to make sure it's a shaper one with 100% chance, global crit strike chance. And then pretty much you want to make sure it's a staff also. Because there's 2 of these staffs, so make sure you get the correct one. So you want to make sure that you get the power +1 maximum power charge is a shaper mod. And the increased damage per power charge is a Crusader mod, I believe. I'm correct on these. No, not correct on the red one. So pretty much with this one, you need to Exalt Slam together. So when you Exalt Slam them, good, that's a quick back of my head. They are, so, suffix and suffix. So if you can ideally get it so that those are the only 2 suffixes on there, pretty much put it as like crafted, suffixes cannot be changed, scour it off, and just keep doing that until you can get it to the point where you have any other prefix on there. Gain power charge per kill is not the worst. This staff alone is about 40 exalts to buy. And then the multi-mod, lightning damage with shock, and then chance to lightning damage extra chaos is the best thing to get. This is your ideal, pretty much, I think, unless you're playing Harvest League, which we are getting apparently next league, back again. You can pretty much get it to where it's the +1, crazy +1 wands, weapons, to an like +1 lightning gems, +1 AoE gems, spell gems. Those are much better, but they are very, very expensive. And then the weapon, it's pretty much a Herald of Thunder, Elemental Focus, Awaken if you can. So right now these are alternate qualities, a lot of them are. If this is not this league, don't worry about the alternate quality. It's pretty much just there for quality of life. You know, your hypothermia, just go regular if you can't go alternate quality next league. Added lightning damage, your life leech. This one doesn't need to be. It's just pretty much just gives you more recovery. That's all it does. But it's still really good. You do need the base version at least to run the build, because it lets the Herald Thunder leech for you also. And then power charge on crit. The helmet, you do want to... So you do need the +1 max and power charge. It's extremely rare to hit. I spent over 600 chaos, roughly, just chaos spamming this to get it, and I only saw it 3 times. And when we had null stuff off, we ripped it 2 of the 3 times. So pretty much with this one, if you want to go super expensive, you can awaken slam this helmet with the nearby enemies take 9%, or was it like 9% element lightning resistance? Awaken them, slam them together. That's your best helmet you can make. It's just not cheap. Because you also want to make sure you get that Herald of Thunder. It has reduced mana observe. You have to have that skill. It does help a lot. Is it needed? Let's find out. So yes, you do need it. This is why you need it, because Herald of Thunder will do this to your build, where you only have 12 mana and you can't cast anything. With it on, you have a little bit of mana left. So it's definitely very helpful. If you cannot afford the 30, you can do this with the 20% one. It's just you have to be very careful with your mana, because you're going to have a lot less mana to deal with, but it's still very doable. And then it's pretty much your Orb of Storms, your Hex Touch, Awaken if you can. If you can't go Awaken level 5, then only run one of these. You probably want to run the Conductivity one over the Elemental Weakness one. And then just make the other one or whatever item you want. Because this gives you double curse whenever you cast your Orb on. We'll do the Badge and Headhunter at the end. So the rings are the Stormseeker rings. Ideally, I think the best thing to get on these is the frequency at 50, and with chance of shock also up there. Just because this is what creates the builds, what you saw during all the conquerors and the maps. When I was casting my Stormbrand to hit something with lightning, and that's when they saw the lightning beams coming down on everything. That's all from the frequency that the Herald of the Stormseeker rings cause. So the chest piece, so there's 2 ways of playing this. If you're doing what I did in this league with Badge of Brotherhood, you do want the Explode mod and the Frenzy charge on hit. If you're not playing with the badge, you don't need the Frenzy charge on hit because you're not generating Frenzy charges. This is what just helps you get your Frenzy charge generating. So if you don't have badge, you can just run just an Explode mod on itself, and then just get resistance, mana, energy shield, that kind of stuff. It'll work just as well. If you are running the badge though, you are going to want this kind. Get a much better one. This one sucks. Life roll's trash. And then the other stuff is garbage. You can definitely get a much better version than this one. There just wasn't anything really on the market I was looking for. But this one's your Stormbrand. Your Add Lightning again. Concentrated effect. Your energy leech, same as the Herald, so you're more leeching. Hypothermia, same as the Herald. And then your Control Destruction for more damage. So on POB, you'll see, if you look at the POB, it's updated in the description below. Stormbrand's about 1 million damage on its own, and the Herald of Thunder is about 4.6 million damage. So the ability does hit extremely hard. It's just the no chaos problem that kills me. So for the belt, it's Headhunter. It's the best in slot. If you don't have Headhunter, I would just run a Stygian belt with pretty much life, energy shield if you want, chaos res, resistance. Pretty much just do that for now. And upgrade a Headhunter later. Because last league, when I didn't have head or badge when I played this build, and when I cleared everything no problem, is I just used pretty much chaos res amulet and a chaos res belt to help my chaos res get positive. It's definitely really good to do. I would recommend going with the chaos res if you can't afford these 2. The build will feel slower, but the build still is extremely good. And then so the boosts they are chance to avoid elemental alignments tier 1 with Tailwind. I had to pretty much awaken slam these together to get them, just because they didn't exist on the market. So if you're not playing with chance to avoid elements, just ignore that whole thing and just go with the you can even go with the cannot be chilled. It's probably the best option as the craft, and just get movement speed on there with Tailwind. With life, resistance, energy shield. Pretty much the same thing as everything else. Life, resistance, energy shield. And then pretty much your cast when damage taken, your wave of conviction setup. Just to pretty much make enemies take more damage. And then it's the second win and flame dash combo setup. And then so the belt, or the gloves I mean, all they really want is life, energy shield, resistance. And if you're doing the chance to avoid elements, make sure you can craft that on there as a suffix. But pretty much that's to steer elemental profilation, I can't say it. Your anonymous Arctic armor is the best one. So this gem, if this does not exist next league, you will have to change the 4-link setup here. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it was in last league with the Unbounds and Enhance, because you won't play this at all, these 4. You're probably going to want to look at MBX's build that he did in Heist League, because I wasn't streaming in Heist, so I don't remember what my links were at all. I would just look at his build and use his 4 links that he used. I just cannot remember what the hell this 4 link would be. Probably some defensive thing maybe? I don't remember. I just can't help you on that one because I don't remember. So that's pretty much the main... Oh, and Flask we went over. So the build is real easy to play. It's real lazy. If you want a lazy build, I recommend this one. Because it's 3 buttons. It's your Storm Brand to activate your build. Your Orb of Storms for your debuff. And then your Flame Dash to move around. That's all the build is. And just keep hitting your Flask at all time. Mainly your Cinderwell Flask is your Lightsaber Flask. If you don't hit Cinderwell, you are pretty much going to die. This pretty much will tell you straight off the back. Just because it recovers whenever you kill enemies, and you're killing enemies so fast. So it pretty much just keeps putting your health back up. If you can get Chaos Res, I would recommend 100% going to your Chaos Resistance. Just because this negative 37, you will feel it. That's why you saw me die so much during Cyrus. Just because his Chaos hits you once, you're instant dead. So that's pretty much the end of the Autobomber build. This is the first of the 3 videos. The next video of these 3 will be either the Poison VV, which will probably be next, or the Bleed Bow, which might be the last one because it's mostly the one has the most problems with. It just depends when we summon the next Cyrus. Because we got this Cyrus done, if I can find the buttons, there you go. So it's all cleaned up now to figure out where we're going next. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below. Come follow me on Twitch. If you have questions about this build, put them in the comments below, or come ask me on Twitch if I'm streaming. Definitely be willing to talk about it, explain things better if that helps you. Because pretty much at this point, if I'm going to keep leveling from 94 up, I probably just start getting life at this point. Like I probably go here, get the 6% life here. You don't really need that one. Maybe you can technically get these 5% life. They're not really needed. Pretty much all like the 5%. If there's any 6% life missing somewhere, I'll grab those. But a lot of them is going to be 5% here. A lot of stuff like that I'll probably just end up grabbing like if I was going to keep leveling. But I might end up taking this character to standard at this point. With this build, since all this stuff will stay. And then try to upgrade all the gems to 620s like how this one is. Just to see what we can really do with the build. You know, get a 21, 23 Herald. Probably get some better items, better chest piece. So we can really push the build to see what it can do. And maybe try with the Chaos Res on it, just to have fun. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for stopping by.